Hi, my name is Bill Dean with Accounting System Integrators. I'm a partner as well as a CPA by trade, and we've been involved with ERP software since 1991 and with nonprofits for over 20 years. And today we're going to be reviewing or presenting our product called Nonprofit Plus. This is a product that's specific for nonprofits, and it's specific to the managing of their organization. Okay, let's go into a presentation of the Nonprofit Plus product, and let's start off with Encumbrance Processing. So let's just open up a new tab for this, and we'll go into the distribution module in the accounts or the purchase order, and we have a purchase order that's already been started. And so when we go down here to the bottom, we'll see the different line items that have been entered. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our dashboard and notice that there's an encumbrance amount of $32.29. Now when we go to the purchase order, the purchase order is on hold. And there's three different options for processing this particular encumbrance ledger of either when the purchase order is on hold, off hold, or approved. Okay, here in our purchase order 1067, we're going to go in and change a particular line item. And this particular line item is $10, and we're going to increase it up to $100. And as we tab that, and we're going to go ahead and hit save. That changes the amount of the purchase order, and when we come back up here and we're going to refresh, and we'll notice that that has gone now from the $32.29 up to the $47.29. So as soon as we hit save, it's going to automatically update. There's no user intervention that's required. This processing goes on behind the scenes. So now let's move into accounts payable and goes to bill and adjust and take a look at some activity related to fund accounting. And we're going to go into an AP bills that has already been processed. You'll notice that it's in open status. And go down to the financial details and bring up the journal entry in a new window. We'll notice that the first four lines are the data entry of the individual that entered into this accounts payable bill. And there is a crossover of funds, 10, 20, 30. So when we come down at the bottom, what you'll notice is that Nonprofit Plus creates redistribute AP by fund entries to account for the crossover between funds. So you'll notice that there is a debit offsetting the original credit, and then a credit coming in and properly redistributing this by fund. Therefore, we're keeping our fund in balance. Okay, let's jump now to checks and payments and see the effect of the journal entry when a check has been processed. Okay, let's go down and go to financial details again, bring up our journal entry, and again we notice our redistribution, and this time backing out the accounts payable because it's been paid. And then we'll notice for our due to due from entry where Fund 10 paid Fund 20's obligation on their behalf and therefore owes that money to Fund 10 as well as Fund 30 the same. So we're recording this activity in order to keep the funds in balance and properly record the due to due from. Okay, let's quickly move to fund maintenance and take a look at a fund and how that is set up. Go to Fund 20. This one's already been set up, like mentioned. And there's a subscription, a status. Only active status funds are available for use. We have options of the type of fund, temporary restricted, permanent restricted, and unrestricted. We also have the control accounts that are available for accounts payable and accounts receivable defined here. And then where needed, we can also assign specific cash accounts, and these cash accounts enable the system to only use these particular cash accounts for the fund, and therefore eliminating commingling of funds. If there is no account, or if there is no cash account listed here, then it will just use the default within the system. We have account restrictions. So these are accounts that are going to be used during data entry for the fund, as well as the sub-accounts. Okay, let's move to grant maintenance. And let's see how a grant is set up. A grant would be associated to a fund, able to place in a description, status, again, only active status available for entry, for being used for data entry. We have a grant type. This is user-defined or organization-defined. These are the ones that we have in our presentation database. And then, of course, a grant manager can be assigned for responsibility purposes. Here we have the grant life defined, our start and end period, as well as our start and end date. And so this is going to be the definition of the life of the grant. Down below here, we enter in our budget for this particular grant, and we process that through into the system. We're able to define our sponsors or our funders. In this case, we have two funders. We can enter in award numbers as well as amount that they have committed. And then as systems process through amount that we billed and the amount of money that we've received, and then which sponsor would be the primary, as well as the percentages. We also have our account restrictions associated to the particular grant and our fund accounts, or our sub-accounts. Okay, let's move down to grant summary and take a look at some of the inquiry capability. We'll notice that all of our grants are listed here. We can see our different ledgers and where we are over or under budget, or the available remaining on each budget or on each grant. I'm going to go ahead and select a particular grant. I can double click and it will drill down into the details, greater details. I can then also drill down again and see the very details of that particular account with this grant for the life of the grant. And we can go ahead and change this life to refine. We also have some filtering capability to be able to refine a specific data that you're looking for. Okay, and as we wrap up, just want to mention the reporting that are available for Non Profit Plus, and these are listed over here on the menu items. So there's lots of inquiries as well as reporting that are available for grant and funds, fund accounting, and the encumbrance processing. Here's our contact information and how you can get a hold of us. Our website for Nonprofit Plus, www.nonprofitplus.net. We can be contacted through email at sales@nonprofitplus.net. And our phone number listed here, 203-239-7740. And again, my name is Bill Dean. Thank you very much for being a part of this presentation.